Hello everyone, good evening. I'm Dinesh Kumar R. I hope you guys can hear me. So those who are watching it live, can you please respond? Am I visible? Am I audible? Is it clear? So yes, let me open the chat messages here. Okay. So the class is on world climatic regions here. So I hope you guys remember I have covered around 3 classes previous to this lecture, and the class we are trying to understand here is how are different world climatic regions developed on the map of the world. We all know that there are different types of world climatic regions like equatorial climate, polar region, Mediterranean region, desert region. Now we are discussing how are these world climatic regions formed. But to understand how they are developed, we require to learn certain basics of climatology, and I hope you guys have already learned that basics. If not, I will tell you how to do that in this particular course. So today we will be taking it as a summary of all the portions that we have learned, that is how individual world climatic regions are developed and how do they look like, so that you can get a feel. Whenever you hear a name of a world climatic region, you should immediately get a feel that yes, it looks like that, these are the features there, so that for that you can understand. So for that you have to know how it is developed. So we are just summarizing all the concepts that we have learned and trying to conclude this particular topic here. So world climatic regions. So before starting, I am Dinesh Kumar R, UPSC educator with respect to geography subject, and I'm teaching geography for more than 4 years. If you like my classes, you can follow me on my Unacademy profile here, where I am teaching in the Plus, Unacademy Plus. Apart from that, there are more than 100 live special classes I have created over the platform. So before just we start, a small announcement that we know that the prelims examination is on June 21st. So we are left with 6 months. So Unacademy has come with again new courses here which will help you immensely for the preparation. So 6-month batches, next one is starting from 28th December, as we know that exact 6 months is left from this particular date, right? And the classes will be available in all the languages. Those who want exclusive Hindi classes, it is available. Those who want exclusive English classes, it is available. And the classes are also available in the bilingual languages. And all these classes are dealt by the top educators of Unacademy. And please remember, these 6-month courses are not any sort of crash course. They are complete preparation for your prelims requirement, that is 2020 prelims. And these are your batches starting from 28th. Apart from that, those who want to have a broader approach, you are also getting a complete course, that is prelims cum mains batch. It will be complete 1 year batch, and the students who are attending for the next year 22, it is 1 year, and the students who are maybe in the college and they are planning to attend in 23, they can start their preparation now itself. The classes are starting from 28th. All the classes are present in all the 3 languages. Exclusively for Hindi students, there are also classes starting from 28th December here. And these are the batches. You can see, repeat, 3 batches starting from 28th. One is complete course for prelims examination, 6-month course, complete course for 1 year where you will be covering mains part also, and then I can say the 2 years batch, which is for the students who are writing in 2023. These are the batches coming up. Unacademy has one more type of subscription, that is known as iconic subscription. What is the speciality? You have some additional benefits, like throughout your entire preparation, you will get a personal coach, or I can say mentor. You will get regular personalized guidance. You can have your answer writing sessions, answer writing corrections. You will get your mains test series also involved with proper evaluation and suggestions in this section. So you can read through the iconic courses, and please remember, there is going to be a price hike with respect to the iconic course. So take the benefit before it rises. You can upgrade, you can subscribe this particular thing. And for your subscriptions, you can use my referral code DineshRT10, and if you use this referral code, you will be given a 10% discount. So you can see these are the normal fees of the plus courses. If you apply this code DineshRT10 while subscribing, these are the new rates, that is 10% discount. I can say that's a huge discount. So that is the thing. So that is about the subscription. Now let us directly move into the course that we were dealing with. So the course we are taking, it is this one. It is your world climatic regions. So I have shown you this chart to make you understand that world climatic regions that we are studying is a subtopic that is part of climatology. Okay, and climatology, the basics are part of, this is the basics of climatology that you need to understand very well. If you know the basics, the understanding of this portion becomes very crucial and I can say very easy relatively. So basics are necessary. How can you learn the basics? You can join me on my Unacademy profile. You will be getting all these classes available there. I have created courses on complete courses on physical geography in my plus courses, and I also have number of classes in the special courses. Okay, so you can cover that course from here. If you like my profile, you can follow my Unacademy profile, which is given already in the slides. So yes, we are starting with the course that is World Climatic Regions. I hope you guys remember, we have already discussed in the last class that we have roughly, I can classify world climatic regions into 13 major types. Now there was a caution in the first day itself. I mentioned that when you go through some of the standard books like G.C. Leong and some of the other books, you will see that they have given only around 11 climatic regions. I am not saying those books are wrong, and I am not saying this is wrong. Both are perfectly correct. What is the difference? I have slightly tried to include something more to clearly show that particular thing. Yes, this is also a certain very important type of season. This is also, there is also slight difference between these two. To show these things clearly, I have differentiated, I have added the extra points. What is the extra point I have added? So in this portion, I have separated polar and tundra. So generally, we can combine them also because they are almost similar. Slight variations are there. So I have just separated it. Similarly, in these regions, we have number of deserts, right? So it is generally not included in much of the figure. So I thought to include that also. So you will get it here. That's why 2 extra seasons. It's perfectly fine. If you can skip, it is perfectly okay. No need. You can combine this together. These are the 2 types of deserts. You can combine it. It's perfectly fine. So let us start with the course. Now, out of these 13 world climatic regions, you can see some of them I have written in black color, that is 1, 2, 3 and 4, and others from 5 to 8 I have written in blue color. Now, what does that mean? That clearly I want to show you from the figure that all these are different, they are formed on the basis of different sources, or I can say their reasons of formations or development is different. The black color ones you can see, that is equatorial climate, polar climate, tundra and taiga climate. They are basically referred as thermally induced world climatic regions. Can you see what are thermally induced world climatic regions? They are equatorial climate, polar climate, tundra climate and taiga climate. That is these 4. So why I say they are thermally induced climate? Because it is my equator area which receives more sunlight, so because of thermal reason. It is my polar region which receives less sunlight, so thermal reason. So that was the reason why I have included there. The other all 5 to 13, they are basically referred as dynamically induced world climatic regions. So what are dynamically induced world climatic regions? They are those climatic regions which are formed as a result of wind. So we know that there are different types of winds. What are these different types? We have trade winds, we have westerlies, we have polar easterlies. So based on that winds, how these climatic conditions are developed. So these are developed based on those winds. That is why we call them dynamically induced climatic regions, right? So we will try to understand how they are dynamically induced. Now, out of this, I can say 9 world climatic regions, that is tropical monsoon, savanna, tropical desert, China type, mid-latitudinal desert, Mediterranean, Laurentian, steppe and British type. That is, out of this 9, I will be again subdividing it into 3 groups. What are these 3 groups? 3 groups will be 4, 4 and 1. What does that mean? I'm talking about the first 4, that is this one. These first 4 will be, they are, I can say, trade wind regulated climatic regions. They are trade wind or easterlies regulated climatic regions. Second 4, if you ask, last 4 if you ask me, they are westerlies regulated climatic region. Westerlies. And this one, I can say they have the combination effect of this one plus this one. They have both the effects of trade wind and westerlies. What are these first 4? First 4 include my tropical monsoonal type, savanna type, tropical desert type and China type. These are the first 4. They are, I can say, trade wind regulated climatic regions. What are my last four? They are Mediterranean climate, Laurentian climate, steppe climate and British type climate. They are my last four. They are westerlies regulated climatic regions. In between, can you see this one? 9. They have effect of both. So this is my 9th one, right? It has effect of both trade winds and westerlies. It is regulated by both these winds. How? Let us see it, the explanation. So you can see trade wind regulated regions 5, 6, 7 and 8. And can you see westerlies regulated climatic regions? It is 10, 11, 12 and 13. And regulated by both trade wind and westerlies, it is 9th mid-latitudinal desert. I have explained this roughly in the last class. So let us just try to revise it very fast. How is it like that? First, I am talking about trade wind regulated. So what is trade wind? Can you see this wind is referred as trade wind. This wind is referred as trade wind. This one and this one. The other name for these winds are easterlies. So what happens to these particular winds? So if I say the figure that I have drawn, suppose it is a continent, can I say the wind direction according to my trade wind should be like this? So definitely can I say all these three areas, they come under the effect of trade wind. The trade wind enters from here, trade wind leaves from here, the last topic, last area. So in this area, I will be calling it as onshore wind. Onshore, the wind is entering into the land. On this side, I will be calling it as offshore wind, that is wind is moving out of this area. So please remember, onshore area will be the wettest area, I will get maximum rainfall. Offshore area will be the driest area because moisture is losing out of the land. Here moisture is entering from the sea into the land, and this area will get intermediate rainfall. So can I say this is getting more rainfall? So it is forest. Can I say it is getting intermediate rainfall? So it is grassland. Can I say it is getting least rainfall? So it is desert. So this is how wind regulates the formation of climatic regions. I hope things are very clear till now. Now here I have one more topic or one more climatic region, which is number 8, also referred as China type. Also referred as China type world climatic regions. So what is China type? I have included China type under the trade wind regulated world climatic regions, right? So how is that trade wind regulated climatic regions? I hope you all know about the pressure belts. Those who are good with the basics of climatology, you will be knowing that there are equatorial low pressure belt. Like for example, if I want to show you roughly, this area is known as equatorial low pressure belt. This area is known as subtropical high pressure belt. This area is known as subpolar low pressure belt, and this area is known as polar high pressure belt. I hope you guys know about these different pressure belts. Now, what are these pressure belts? Pressure belts are formed based on temperature and other dynamic events. But can I say these pressure belts are not fixed always? They keep on shifting their locations up and down based on the temperature. When the sun shifts northward in the summer season, entire pressure belt will shift north. When the sun shifts southward in the winter season, entire pressure belts will come south. So that is what I want to show here. I have drawn this pressure belt, that is subtropical high pressure belt here. So for example, this is my subtropical high pressure belt. Can you see this subtropical high pressure belt is moving up and down? When it is moving up? During summer season. When it is moving down? During winter season. So what happens? During normal conditions, or I can say normally it will be here. So when it is here during normal season, can you see the wind is entering into this region 5, then it will enter into 6, then it will come into 7. So this was what we have explained in the previous slide. That is, I hope you remember this slide. Now, what happens during summer? This belt shifts to this location. Now, instead of reaching here, this wind, that is my easterlies, will reach here, that is 8. So what is happening during summer season? 8, that is China type, is receiving wind from the sea. So can I say this area will receive good amount of rainfall during summer? That is the speciality of the China type of climate. It receives good amount of rainfall during summer. During winter, when the pressure belt shifts southward, the wind does not reach here, so it remains dry. So this area will remain dry during winter and it will remain wet during summer. So this is what the pressure belts, how it creates. Next is we were discussing about the westerlies regulated climatic regions. Which are the areas which are westerlies regulated climatic region? If you remember the list, it is 10, 11, you can see 12 and 13. See, this is my 10th one. Let me change the color here. So yes, this is my 10, this is my 11, 12 and 13. How? Can you see during winter season when the subtropical high pressure belt is lower, you are getting moisture laden wind from the sea entering towards the 10. So can I say 10th area, which is known as Mediterranean region, will get rainfall during the winter season? So are you properly understanding the difference between 8 and 10? 8 is a China type world climatic region which receives rainfall in summer and remains dry during winter. 10 is Mediterranean region which will receive rainfall during winter, just opposite to 8. See, they are almost at the same latitude, only difference is they are on different sides of ocean. 8 receives rainfall during summer, 10 receive rainfall during winter. 8 remains dry during winter, 10 remains wet during winter while dry during summer. Entirely different type of nature. So that is the complication here. So it's very interesting to, if you understand how it is developed. You won't require to mug up these facts once you understand these things. Now, during summer when the pressure belt moves northward, can you see it is entering into 13? After some time it will enter into 12. After some time it may reach here. So that is why we call them, they are westerlies regulated world climatic regions, right? So my 10 is Mediterranean, 11 is Laurasian, 12 is Steppe, 13 is British type. All of them are westerlies regulated world climatic regions. I am ticking them again with respect to the color, so you can check them again. So which are my westerlies regulated? 10, 11, 12 and 13 are my westerlies regulated. Now we are left with one, that is 9. What happens to this guy? So can you see here 9? So 9, you can see it is mid-latitudinal desert which is regulated by both trade wind and westerlies. How? Can I say during winter, after creating some rainfall, this branch will reach, after creating some rainfall at 10, this branch will reach at 9? Similarly, can I say during summer, after creating some rainfall in 8, this branch can reach here? So what is happening? Both are 9. Can you see this? I'm showing it on different sides. So both are 9. So definitely you are getting rainfall here. But please remember, can I say when it crosses 8 and reaches 9, most of the moisture will be consumed in 8. So very less amount of moisture will be reaching at 9. Similarly, when I talk about this location, can I say it enters 9 only after passing through 10. So very limited amount of moisture will be reaching here. So that is why this area also remains slightly drier. So that is why I call it the mid-latitudinal desert. Why mid-latitudinal desert? Because it is slightly higher. Can you see 30 to 45 degree latitude? This is my tropical desert within 30 degree. This desert is above 30 degree. That's why I call it subtropical desert or mid-latitudinal desert. So this is how the world climatic regions are formed. So I'm just concluding the topic here. So if I want to show you, let me change the colors here. The red colors I'll be using for thermally induced climatic regions. Yes, this one is thermally induced climatic region, this one is thermally induced climatic region, tundra is thermally induced climatic region, and taiga is thermally induced climatic region. All other 5 to 13, they are dynamically induced climatic region. Let us show them again with some good color combinations. Can I say out of them, this one is trade wind regulated climatic region, this one is trade wind regulated climatic region, tropical desert is trade wind regulated climatic region, and China type is trade wind regulated climatic region. Now can I say my next one, that is Mediterranean region? Give me a second. Okay, can I say the Mediterranean region is westerly? Okay, let me change the color, I'm sorry for that. Yes, can I say this is westerlies regulated climatic region, Laurentian is westerly regulated climatic region, Steppe is westerly regulated climatic region, and British type is westerly regulated climatic region. Now what can I tell about 9? 9 is both westerly regulated as well as, can I say, you have the effect of this trade wind also. So it is regulated by both. I hope things are very much clear how these different types of climatic belts are formed. If this is clear, the understanding becomes very much easy. So what is that understanding? So before that, a small announcement again. So Unacademy has for those who cannot afford and those who are thinking about should they go for plus courses or not, for them Unacademy has provided free experience of their plus courses. How? They are giving free special classes. What are free special classes? These are the classes taken by top educators of Unacademy for 1 hour live. Everybody can attend live in these classes. They are conducted for 1 hour. Right? I have more than 100 classes taken here. You can visit my profile and you can get this. And those who are using Unacademy for the first time, the app or on the laptop, you will be required to enter a referral code, or I can say unlock code, to use these lectures, free lectures, right? So you don't need to pay to attend these special classes, but yes, you require an unlock code. So when you enter to watch this video, you can use this unlock code DineshRT10 to watch my lectures. Okay, apart from that, there are a number of free tests, current affairs, 20 questions daily. It is free test daily. There is free number of quizzes conducted on Unacademy platform daily. So these are the free opportunities Unacademy provides, and all these things are provided in a massive way in the plus course. So these are just, I can say, a trailer for what you get in the plus courses. Right? So this one is a daily T20 or 20 questions for current affairs of practices, and the classes that we are taking it now, like YouTube, Articulate, these are free courses. Telegram channel is there where you will get free PDF notes and all. So these are the free things provided by Unacademy in the interest of aspirants. Okay. So moving further, so we have discussed around 13 type of world climatic regions. Now I will just give you certain what are their important names and how do they look like. What did I say before starting the class? I said we are just going to get a feel of these climatic regions, how they look like, so that we get whatever question we can relate it with that. At least if we don't remember the facts, that is the purpose. So first one is equatorial climate. When I talk about equatorial climate, there are different names for this. It is known as hot and wet climate. Why? Because the region is very hot, equator, daily you have rainfall, so wet. It is equatorial rainforest. Hot and wet condition is very much good for evergreen forest. So you have rainforest or evergreen forest. So equatorial evergreen forest. A wet forest are having broad leaves. So moist evergreen forest. They are basically in the lowland area. So lowland equatorial evergreen forest. All these names are simultaneously used for the equatorial climatic regions. How does they look like? They are very dense forest. Can you see the thickness of the canopy? If you go into this forest, you will get very less amount of light because entire area is covered. Sunlight cannot easily penetrate, and that is why the plants that live in this area, what they do is they compete for light. So their tendency will be to grow much higher. So the trees that you get in this area, they are enormous in their height. They are very high trees. Even they sometimes reach more than 60-70 meters. You can imagine more than 60-70 meters. That is the height the trees can reach in this area. Right? And as I said, the area has less sunlight inside. So definitely, can I relate with something? This area will have relatively less amount of undergrowth. Small grasses will be less. Right? So when grasses will be less number of big herbivores like deer and all. When deers will be less number of bigger carnivores. So what you will be getting will be smaller animals in this area. Reptiles will be there, birds will be there, spiders, monkeys, the arboreal things. That is the common feature of my equatorial forest. You won't get big animals. So this is the basic feature of this region. I hope the feeling is clear. You will get an idea of this equatorial climate. Next, I am talking about polar region, that is Arctic pole and Antarctic pole. We clearly know that this is near the pole, no sunlight, excessive cold, so permanently glacial covered area. They are sometimes referred as the permafrost region. I can say they are the permafrost region, that is permanently frozen region. So this is about my polar region. Generally, I can say there is no life, but no, it is not like that. There are some lives, maybe penguins in the southern hemisphere. Right? There are a number of small lives which can live in this particular belt. Polar bears are there in the northern hemisphere. So, but they are very limited, right? Very limited. There are some special type of fishes that live in this particular water bodies. Right? There are seals. So some animals are there. If we talk about vegetation, generally no, but during slight summer periods, basically some mosses lichens can grow, but basically when I talk about extreme pole areas, there is no life. We'll bring life in the next section, that is, this is pole, it will be no life form you can see directly. This is my next part, tundra, which is slightly lower part, a 10 degree lower than the pole. So here I can say it is also similar to pole, permanently frozen area, but during the summer season what happens, some life becomes active here, lichens, mosses, all these things. So slightly more life I can say when I compare it with respect to my polar areas, but almost similar. If I get similar condition above a mountain in the Himalayan region, I will call it alpine tundra, right? It's an example. Next is taiga. Now I am coming a little bit more below. So the other names for taiga is subpolar, subarctic, boreal, Siberian climate, or cool temperate continental. Now please remember, when I say taiga, slightly below, slightly towards lower latitude, so I will be getting trees also. What type of trees? We know that this is a very cold area, snowfall is there, glaciers are there, so they are conical trees. So I will get some coniferous trees, I will get some animals like reindeers, polar bears, all these particular things. Right, these areas are, please remember, similar to polar area, slight variations. What was that? Pole, no vegetation. Tundra, slight amount of lichens and mosses and small flowering plants. Taiga, slightly here and there I start to get trees. So things are getting modified. So can I say the thermally induced world climatic locations are perfectly clear? You just got a feel of these particular locations just based on their locations. Now when I talk about tropical monsoonal type, savanna type and desert, do you remember tropical monsoonal type receives rainfall during summer, during winter it remains dry. China type also is similar, receives rainfall at once. Monsoon, we know that, right? Monsoon is seasonal change in wind direction. So at some period of time you get rainfall, some period it remains dry. China type we have clearly seen, summer season it remains wet, winter season it remains dry. Savanna type, do you remember, moisture only after creating rainfall here will reach here. So definitely when I talked about savanna region, I clearly mentioned that this savanna region is relatively less rainfall. So I can say no forest, you will get grasses here, grassland will be there. When I talk about this area, western side, no rainfall, it will be desert. So what can I say? In this area, let me change the color, give me a second. Can I say here I can get some forest like deciduous forest, because some period is dry, some period is wet. So trees will shed their leaves. I will be getting deciduous forest. Here I am getting relatively less amount of water. So I can say no forest, but bigger grassland will be there because sufficient amount of sunlight is there and some amount of water is there. So bigger grasses and all. Here no water, only sunlight. So hot deserts are there. So let us see. And one more thing, this one, it is similar to this one. Can I say summer is wet, other times are drier? So it is similar to this one, but can I say it is slightly higher in the latitude? So the density of this forest will be slightly lesser because insolation is decreasing, sunlight is decreasing here. So slightly I can say lighter version of tropical monsoonal forest will be China type. So let us see and feel these four type of world climatic regions. This is how my tropical monsoonal climate forest looks like. Do you remember I said it's a deciduous forest? Deciduous forest means it won't be so dense. When we talked about equatorial forest, it was so dense that you won't get light penetration inside and all. So that was like that. But here you can see that is open forest, trees gradually shed their leaves. So generally the forest is relatively much open, and as a result you get huge amount of light, huge amount of, and now can you see when there are huge space in between, light penetration in between. So these grasses and all will grow. When these grasses and all will grow here, the herbivores will come in to eat these grasses. When the herbivores will come in to eat these grasses, the carnivores like tiger, lion will come in to attack them. Right, so that's how you can see this is open forest and big animals can be seen in this area. All the big animals like tiger, lion, elephant, deer, all of them can be seen in such type of forest, that is deciduous forest. I can say tropical monsoonal forest. I hope you all know this. We are India living in a monsoonal country. So definitely we have this type of forest as a majority in the country. Next, do you remember I have mentioned this area will be grassland because less rainfall, so definitely more grasses. See, this is how it looks like. Here and there will be some bushes and shrubs and some small trees, that is also water retaining, and these are longer grasses. And can I say these grasses will be very good for the herbivores to hide? carnivores to hide. So these areas are basically very much famous for hunting also, because there are huge amount of wild animals you can see here. So because this area is very much famous for hunting, these areas are also known as big game countries. Africa, you can see the best developed savannas in the world. So huge amount of animals will be there, both herbivores and carnivores you can see in this belt. That is the one. Even western side if I go, I will come across the desert. So what are specialities of desert? Can I say, if I talk about the desert vegetation, that you have sand dunes and all, scarcity of water, more evaporation, less precipitation, vegetation will be very less, scarce vegetation. You will have cactus in these areas which have, I can say, bulbous type structure. They will store water inside. They have thorn type leaves. They have wax coating outside. So what does that mean? They will do all these adaptive techniques so that they conserve water. Loss should be minimum. So these are my tropical deserts. And what type of animals will be there? The animals which can sustain these temperature. Can I say, you have seen camels? They have very long legs, right? Camels have very long legs. Why? Because their body should be away from this hot area. So definitely they should be away. Then only they can survive. Like, have you seen the hump of a camel? Right? What is that hump? It can store water for emergency requirement. It can give back to its body. You might have heard about something known as kangaroo rat. I hope you have heard about it. Kangaroo rat. If you have not heard, please search it. It's a very interesting animal. They don't drink much water. There is oxidized fat from their body and they convert it into water. So all these animals which can conserve water will be living in this belt. That is my tropical desert climate. So I hope you understood open forest, grassland. This is my dry desert. Now next one is China type. I have already mentioned it is similar to my tropical monsoonal climate, but will be slightly lighter, not that much denser. So this is my China type. Rest of the things are similar in this area. Just you remember, you get more rainfall during the summer season and winters are dry. These are the things you can remember with respect to China type. Now I am going to next area. Do you remember this too? This one we have discussed, if you remember, during winter from westerlies it is getting rainfall. So this area gets rainfall during winter, Mediterranean, and this area from here also it receives very less amount of rainfall. From here also it receives very less amount of rainfall. So desert. So let us see 9. See, it looks like this desert. But can you see, these are subtropical deserts or mid-latitudinal deserts. These are not as dry as that of the tropical desert. Why? Tropical desert was on the extreme west. Extreme west means extreme dry because it was offshore wind. But here from both the side, some amount of moisture comes in. Some amount. That some amount of moisture that is coming in will create some amount of vegetations more than our normal deserts. So they are known as continental interior deserts or subtropical deserts or mid-latitudinal deserts. Now these areas are, again I can say, they are very much famous for climatic extremes, or I can say weather extremes. Their weather is extremes. During night it can be very less temperature. During daytime the temperature can be very high. So huge fluctuations you can see in these areas. And one more thing I can add here, when I talk about this desert vegetation, they are known as xerophytic vegetations. Okay, they are known as xerophytic vegetations. What are xerophytic vegetations? Which adapt to desert. If I talk about their root system, they penetrate too much into the deeper soil, right? So that they have to search for water and all. These are the basic properties of these areas. Next, we have seen western side which receives rainfall during winter. Please remember, it's a very beautiful area. And most important, you have to remember one thing here, that they receive rainfall in winter and remains dry in summer. And the very important factor of these areas are, these areas are very much important for their orchards, citrus fruits. They are very much famous for grapes. These countries they produce very important varieties of wines because they have vineyards. They have orchards especially for wine productions. Right, so these Mediterranean area is very much famous for citrus varieties of fruits actually. That is the most important speciality you can remember with respect to Mediterranean climate. And number one thing, they have winter rainfall. They have winter rainfall and their summers are dry. So this is the speciality of our Mediterranean type of climate. So can I say we have covered 1, 2, 3 and 4. Can I say we have got a feel of 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. Let us finally lead to this one, 11, 12 and 13. What can I say? Do you remember my British type, this one? It receives rainfall during both the seasons. From here also moisture enters here, from here also moisture enters here. I will repeat that explanation for you guys. Can you please check it here? The figure that I was explaining. Let me please take you back there. Yes, check it here. Okay, let me clear this. Okay, let me clear this for you guys. Okay, now check. Now please remember this area during winter and normal season also you get some amount of moisture that will be reaching here, and during summer also you will be good amount of, so during summer good amount of moisture reaches here, during other seasons also slight amount of moisture enters here. So it always gets rainfall. 13, that is the benefit of 13. 12, less amount of rainfall, only after creating rainfall here this moisture will reach here. So 13 always rainfall, so in summer it gets more rainfall. 12 it gets rainfall but relatively less rainfall. This area it gets special type of feature which gets rainfall from this side also. That is why we said it's a special type. It's a transition between above. Do you remember above is taiga? So it is a transition type of climate between this taiga and between this region. So let us try to explain that in the slide. Okay. So we are going to discuss first one, this one, Manchurian. So what is Manchurian? I repeat, please remember it is a transition between China type and taiga type. Why? What is that transition? Can I say when I talk about China type is basically deciduous forest, open forest. When I talk about taiga type, it is basically conical forest, coniferous forest. So this is deciduous forest, this is coniferous forest. So when I say it is a transition, can I say you will get both of them? Towards north it will be relatively coniferous forest, towards south it will be relatively deciduous forest. Can you see? You have conical trees, you have other type of trees also. So these areas are combinations. See, these are other trees, you can see the leaves, these are other trees, these are conical trees. So you get a mixture like situation. The other name for them is they are also known as Manchurian climate. It is also referred as cool temperate eastern margin climate. These are different names for the Laurasian climate. Okay, next one, this is steppe. It's a very beautiful area, okay, because we are getting very nutritious short grasses. Why grasses? You have seen this area gets less amount of rainfall. These areas are very good for pastures, right? Very fertile and nutritious gases. These grasses are there, so your cows, buffaloes and all these sheep, all these things can feed on this and they give very good productivity in these areas. So these are very good areas for herders, right? That is a speciality of steppes or temperate continental climate. Coming to the last one, that is we are at the 13th world climatic region. You can see it here, and please believe me, this is the most beautiful region in the world, or I can say the best area for habitation. Why do I say it is the best area for habitation? Do you remember the 13th area we have mentioned? It gets rainfall during summer, it gets rainfall during winter, it gets rainfall throughout the year. It's not like you're getting heavy rainfall. No, you get light shower almost every time. So well distributed rainfall. So very good for the vegetation. Slightly away from the pole, that is slightly below the taiga region. So I can say the climatic condition is also good, not that much extreme. So that's why it is a very moderate type of region, and I can say this is the best region where the people prefer to live very healthily. So this is the best region where we can survive. Right, most beautiful area. So these are the world climatic regions. I hope you guys have understood. Just I'm concluding it again. So thermally induced climatic regions, these are thermally induced climatic regions. These are hotter regions, these are colder regions. All of them are dynamically induced climatic regions. Out of them, these four were, I can say, easterlies regulated climatic region, and these four were, I can say, westerlies regulated climatic region, and one in between, this is regulated by both westerlies and easterlies. And what we did after that, we have taken the individual climatic regions and we tried to get a feel of these individual climatic regions. I hope this particular study would have helped you in understanding or at least getting a feel of these individual regions. So this initial spark, let it help you in studying this topic in much details with more interest. So this was the purpose of the class. I hope you enjoyed the class with me with respect to world climatic regions. We will see again with some new interesting course in the coming days. Most probably let us see again tomorrow same time 9 p.m. in the evening. So if you are liking my class, you can follow me on the Unacademy profile here. This is my Unacademy profile, and any of you who are entering the Unacademy profile for the first time, if you want to watch the free live lectures that I have taken, you can see more than 100 live lectures in my profile. If you want to watch them for free, you will require an unlock code, and the unlock code is DineshRT10. And if anybody want to subscribe to the Unacademy Plus courses, I am a Plus educator on Unacademy. If you want to follow more detailed course of mine, you can subscribe the Plus courses. For that, you can use this referral code DineshRT10 and you can avail a discount of 10%. So these are the benefits I can say. And yes, again a repetition, I can say it's a reminder, Unacademy has its iconic subscription and it is going to, we are going to give a price hike. The price is going to rise. So before that, I hope you can take the advantage and subscribe it before the rise. So how the subscription works, these are the pages. When you go for subscription, this will be the first thing that we will be showing. Now what you have to do, you have a column where you can have a referral code. So type the referral code in caps lock DineshRT10, then you can see you will get directly a 10% discount over all the courses. So this is how this particular referral code works. Right? And if any of your friends want to subscribe, kindly share with them the referral code DineshRT10 so that they can avail this 10% discount while subscribing. So thank you. That is all from my part. I hope you enjoyed with me. See you with some new wonderful courses on Unacademy platform. Thank you. Take care and stay safe. Bye bye.